Alex Carter stretched his arms as he walked off the cargo ship Aurora's Dawn. The massive space station called Crossroads Hub stretched out before him like a metal city floating in space. Lights flickered from thousands of windows and docking ports. Ships of every size and shape moved in and out like busy insects around a hive. Captain Maya Brooks had given the crew 6 hours of free time, while the cargo handlers moved their trade goods. Alex needed the break. 3 months of hauling metal and food between human colonies had left him restless. At 28 years old, he had been working space routes for 5 years since leaving Earth's military. The pay was good, but the work was boring. The station's main corridor buzzed with activity. Alex had visited Crossroads Hub many times, but still found himself staring at the mix of alien species. Tall crystal beings that looked like walking diamonds clicked past him. Their bodies made musical sounds with each step. A group of insect-like creatures with 6 arms carried boxes twice their size. Their compound eyes tracked everything around them. Near a food vendor, 3 reptilian aliens argued in their hissing language. Their scales changed colors as they got more excited. Alex had learned that color changes meant different emotions for their species. Right now, they were flashing angry reds and oranges. The recreational district sat on level 15. Alex took the transport tube up and found himself in a completely different world. Here the lighting was softer and music drifted from various entertainment venues. The smell of exotic foods from a dozen worlds mixed in the air. Holographic advertisements promised everything from virtual reality games to relaxation chambers. The Nebula's Rest Cantina caught his attention. It was quieter than the other bars and had a good reputation among human traders. Alex pushed through the door and found a dimly lit space with booths arranged around a central bar. The walls showed slow-moving images of colorful space nebulas. He ordered a drink and looked around the room. Most customers were humanoid species that preferred similar environments. A few tables held quiet conversations in languages he did not recognize. At the bar itself sat various lone travelers like himself. That was when he saw her. The alien woman sat alone in a corner booth, and Alex felt his breath catch. She had the general shape of a human female, but with features that were clearly not human. Her skin was covered in short dark fur with silver streaks that caught the light. Her face was elegant but predatory, with a slightly elongated snout and pointed ears. Golden eyes watched the room with alert intelligence. She wore what looked like a military uniform in dark blue with silver markings. The cut suggested high rank. Her build was athletic and strong, taller than most human women. When she moved to lift her drink, Alex could see the fluid grace of a natural hunter. Alex had flirted with women from different human colonies during his travels. Each world had developed its own customs and attitudes. But this was different. This was an actual alien, and he found himself curious about what that might be like. He picked up his drink and walked over to her table. She watched his approach with those golden eyes, but did not seem alarmed. When he stopped next to her booth, she tilted her head slightly. "Mind if I sit?" Alex asked, putting on his most charming smile. She gestured to the seat across from her, with one clawed hand. "You may try," she said. Her voice had a slight growl to it, but spoke perfect human standard language. Alex slid into the booth. Up close, he could see more details. Her fur had patterns like a wolf or large dog. Small scars on her hands and arms suggested a warrior's life. The uniform had a name patch that read L. Starfang in human letters. "I'm Alex Carter," he said. "Human trader from the ship Aurora's Dawn." "Luna Starfang," she replied. "Captain of the Starfang Honor Guard." "Honor Guard sounds impressive," Alex said. "What brings a captain to a place like this?" Luna's eyes studied him for a long moment. "Rest between duties. And you, human trader Alex Carter." "What brings you to my table?" Alex grinned. "Curiosity. I've never met someone from your species before. Lupine, right?" "Correct." Luna took a sip of her drink. "And I have met few humans who approach lupines so casually. Most of your kind are more cautious." "Maybe I'm not most humans," Alex said. "Besides, you look like you could handle yourself if I turned out to be trouble." Something that might have been amusement flickered in Luna's golden eyes. "You have no idea." They talked for the next hour. Alex learned that Luna's people came from a world called Fenris Prime, where large clans controlled different territories. Her clan specialized in military service and had ancient traditions about honor and loyalty. She had been trained as a warrior since childhood and now led a unit that protected important clan members. Luna asked about human culture and seemed genuinely interested in Alex's stories about Earth and the colonies. She laughed at his description of humans trying to adapt to different gravity levels on new worlds. The sound was musical despite the slight growl in her voice. "Your species adapts quickly," Luna observed. "Lupines prefer to change our environment rather than change ourselves." "Different approaches," Alex agreed. "Humans are good at being flexible, sometimes too flexible." "What do you mean?" Alex thought about how to explain. "We don't always think through the consequences of our actions. We try things just to see what happens." Luna's expression became more serious. "That can be dangerous." "Sure, but it can also lead to interesting discoveries," Alex said with another grin. When Luna's communication device chimed, she looked at it and her entire posture changed. She became the military officer again, alert and focused. "I must go," she said, standing. "Duty calls." Alex stood as well. "Maybe I'll see you around the station." Luna looked at him for a long moment. There was something in her expression that Alex could not read. "Be careful what games you play, little human. Some of us take such things more seriously than you might expect." She walked away without looking back, leaving Alex standing by the empty booth. He watched her leave and felt oddly disappointed. What had started as a simple flirtation had turned into something more interesting than he expected. The bartender, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, wiped down glasses nearby. "First time talking to a lupine?" he asked in accented human standard. "Yeah," Alex replied. "Why?" "They don't do casual relationships. When a lupine forms a connection, it goes deep, much deeper than humans usually understand." Alex frowned. "It was just conversation." The bartender made a sound that might have been laughter. "If you say so, human, but I saw how she looked at you when she left. You might want to learn more about lupine culture before your next conversation." Alex returned to his ship confused and thinking about golden eyes and silver-streaked fur. He had expected a fun conversation with an exotic alien. Instead, he felt like he had stumbled into something much more complicated than he intended. 3 weeks later, Alex found himself staring out the viewing port of Aurora's dawn as they approached another trade station. He should have been reviewing cargo manifests or checking equipment, but instead, he kept thinking about golden eyes and the warning Luna had given him. Dr. Lisa Kane noticed his distraction during the morning meal. She was the ship's xenobiologist, responsible for understanding alien cultures they encountered during trade missions. At 30 years old, she had studied dozens of non-human species and their customs. "You've been quiet lately," Lisa said, sitting across from Alex in the small crew dining area. "Something bothering you?" Alex pushed food around his plate. "Just thinking about that lupine I met at Crossroads Hub." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "The warrior woman you spent an hour talking to. You know I warned you about getting too interested in aliens without understanding their culture first." "It was just conversation," Alex said, though even he did not sound convinced anymore. "Was it?" Lisa pulled out her datapad and called up her research files. "I've been studying lupine culture since you mentioned her. Their social structure is based on pack bonds and mate connections that can last lifetimes. They don't understand casual flirtation the way humans do." Captain Maya Brooks entered the dining area and poured herself coffee. At 35, she had been commanding trading vessels for 8 years and had seen her share of crew members getting complicated with aliens. "What's this about lupines?" Maya asked. "Alex had an encounter with one at Crossroads Hub," Lisa explained. "I'm trying to explain why that might not have been as simple as he thinks." Maya sat down and studied Alex's face. "Let me guess. Beautiful alien woman. Interesting conversation. And now you can't stop thinking about her." "Something like that," Alex admitted. "The problem is that lupines form what they call mate bonds," Lisa continued. "It's not just emotional attachment. It's a deep psychological and sometimes even physical connection. If a lupine decides you're their potential mate, it becomes very serious very quickly." Alex frowned. "She didn't say anything about mates." We just talked. That's not how it works, Maya said. With some species, the connection forms whether you intend it or not. Your actions and words can trigger responses you don't understand. Meanwhile, on the lupine homeworld of Fenris Prime, Luna Starfang paced in her family's compound. The world was harsh and beautiful, with towering mountains and deep forests under a red-tinted sun. The Starfang clan controlled mining territories in the northern continent and had done so for generations. Luna's younger sister, Kira, found her in the training yard, hitting practice targets with more force than necessary. At 26, Kira served as the clan's technology specialist and knew her sister better than anyone. "You're going to break the equipment if you keep that up," Kira said, watching Luna destroy another training dummy. Luna stopped and wiped sweat from her forehead. "I'm fine." "No, you're not. You've been acting strange since you came back from Crossroads Hub. Did something happen?" Luna hesitated. In Lupine culture, admitting emotional confusion was considered weakness, especially for someone in her position. But Kira was family and could be trusted. "I met a human," Luna said finally. Kira's ears perked up with interest. "A human and nothing. We talked. He was different from what I expected. Different how Luna struggled to find words. Most aliens who approach Lupines want something specific. Trade deals, military alliances, information. This human, Alex, seemed to approach me just for the sake of conversation. Like I was simply another person instead of a representative of my species." Kira studied her sister's face. "You liked him." "I found him interesting," Luna corrected. "He was bold, but not aggressive, confident, but not arrogant. And when he smiled, it reached his eyes." "Luna," Kira said carefully, "you know what our mother would say about forming attachments to other species." "I'm not forming attachments," Luna snapped. "I'm simply thinking about an unusual encounter." Kira did not look convinced, but before she could respond, an urgent message arrived on Luna's communication device. The clan elders were calling an emergency meeting. In the great hall of the Starfang compound, Luna joined her father and the other clan leaders around a massive stone table. The atmosphere was tense as reports came in from their border territories. "The Dominion Empire is moving ships near our mining worlds," reported the clan's military advisor. "Intelligence suggests they are preparing for some kind of action." Luna's father, clan leader Robert Starfang, studied the tactical displays. "The Dominion has wanted our mining rights for years. They may finally be ready to take them by force." "What about our allies?" Luna asked. "The other Lupine clans will support us, but that may not be enough. The Dominion has been building their fleet for months. We need outside help." Another elder spoke up. "There are rumors that the elfish enclaves are organizing some kind of defensive alliance. They've been reaching out to various species about mutual protection agreements." "Including humans?" Luna's father asked. "Possibly. The humans have been expanding their territory and might be willing to help if it serves their interests." Luna felt something stir in her chest at the mention of humans. She told herself it was just strategic thinking, but part of her wondered if she might encounter Alex again if their species worked together. The meeting continued for hours as they planned defensive strategies and considered diplomatic options. When it finally ended, Luna walked outside into the cool evening air of Fenris Prime. Kira found her there, looking up at the stars. "Thinking about your human again?" Kira asked. "Thinking about the future," Luna replied. "If our species work together against the Dominion, there will be more contact between humans and Lupines. And you're hoping to see him again." Luna was quiet for a long moment. "In our culture, we believe that some meetings are meant to happen, that certain individuals are brought together by forces beyond their control." "Heart recognition," Kira said softly. It was an old Lupine concept, the idea that souls could recognize their complement across any barrier. "Don't be ridiculous," Luna said quickly. "I barely know him." But even as she said it, Luna remembered the feeling she had experienced when Alex smiled at her. It had been like something inside her had awakened after a long sleep. Back on Aurora's Dawn, Alex was having similar thoughts. Lisa had given him more information about Lupine culture, and the more he learned, the more he realized how little he had understood about his encounter with Luna. The important thing to remember, Lisa explained, is that lupines don't separate emotional and physical connections the way humans do. If a lupine forms a bond with someone, it affects their entire being. Their loyalty becomes absolute and they expect the same in return. So when she warned me about taking things seriously, Alex began, she was telling you that your casual approach might have consequences you weren't prepared for, Maya finished. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Alex looked out the viewing port at the stars. Somewhere out there was a lupine warrior who had made him question everything he thought he knew about relationships and connections. He had started their conversation as a game, but now he was beginning to understand that Luna might have experienced it as something much deeper. The communication system chimed with an incoming message for Captain Brooks. After reading it, Maya looked up with surprise. "Well, this is interesting," she said. "We're being reassigned to support a diplomatic mission. Apparently, the elfish enclaves are organizing some kind of alliance meeting, and they want human representatives present." "Where?" Alex asked. Maya smiled. "Fenris Prime. Looks like you might get a chance to continue that conversation after all." Alex felt his heart rate increase. He was going to see Luna again, but this time he would have to face the consequences of what had passed between them. The red sun of Fenris Prime cast long shadows across the landing platform as Aurora's dawn settled onto the designated pad. Alex checked his equipment one final time, trying to calm his nerves. Captain Maya had assigned him as the human technical liaison, which meant he would be working directly with lupine military units. The diplomatic mission was led by an elf named Zara Nightwhisper, who had arrived 2 days earlier. Alex had never met an elf before, but he had heard they were ancient, wise, and had abilities that humans did not fully understand. The alliance she was trying to build would protect multiple species from the aggressive Dominion Empire. As Alex walked down the cargo ramp, he saw a group of lupine warriors waiting to escort the human delegation. His heart jumped when he recognized Luna among them, though she wore full military gear and her expression was carefully neutral. "Welcome to Fenris Prime," Luna said formally when the groups met. Her golden eyes met his briefly before moving to Captain Maya. "I am Captain Luna Starfang, assigned as your military liaison." "Captain Brooks, commanding Aurora's Dawn," Maya replied. "This is my technical specialist, Alex Carter, and our xenobiologist, Dr. Lisa Kane." Luna nodded to each of them. "We have prepared quarters for your delegation in the diplomatic compound. However, we must discuss defensive preparations immediately. Dominion scouts have been detected near our outer settlements. They were transported to the Starfang clan compound in armored vehicles." Alex found himself sitting across from Luna during the ride, and he could feel the tension between them. She was obviously trying to maintain professional distance, but he caught her looking at him when she thought no one was watching. The compound was impressive, built into the side of a mountain with both traditional lupine architecture and modern defensive systems. Zara Nightwhisper met them in the main hall, and Alex was surprised by how young the elf appeared despite her supposed age of over 800 years. "Welcome, humans," Zara said in a melodious voice. "I am pleased you could join our efforts. The situation with the Dominion has become urgent, and we need all available expertise." Dr. Lisa Kane immediately began asking questions about defensive strategies and alien technology. Captain Maya discussed logistics and supply lines. But Alex noticed that Zara kept glancing between him and Luna with what looked like knowing amusement. "Mr. Carter," Zara said, "I understand you have experience with technical systems. Captain Starfang's unit is responsible for protecting our communication arrays. Perhaps you could assist with upgrading their defensive capabilities." Alex felt Luna stiffened slightly. Working together would mean spending time alone, and he could sense her conflict about that possibility. "Of course," Alex said. "I'd be happy to help." "Excellent," Zara smiled. "Captain Starfang can show you the installations tomorrow morning." That evening, Alex found himself on a balcony overlooking the lupine compound. The alien stars were bright in the clear atmosphere, and he could hear the sounds of lupine families in the distance. Their language had musical qualities mixed with growls and barks. Unable to sleep. Luna's voice came from behind him. Alex turned to find her approaching in casual clothes rather than her military uniform. She looked more like the woman he had met at the cantina, though her expression was still guarded. Different. Gravity takes some getting used to, Alex said. Plus, everything here is new to me. Luna joined him at the balcony railing. What do you think of my world? It's beautiful, Alex said honestly. Harsh, but beautiful. I can see why your people are so strong. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment before Luna spoke again. Why did you approach me at Crossroads Hub? Alex considered lying, but something about Luna made him want to be honest. At first because you were beautiful and different, and I was curious. I thought it would be fun to flirt with an exotic alien. Luna's expression darkened. And now I realize I was being stupid and probably insulting. Dr. Kane has been educating me about lupine culture. I didn't understand what my actions might mean to someone like you. Someone like me. Someone who doesn't play games with emotions. Someone who takes connections seriously. Luna studied his face in the starlight. And what would you do differently if you could? Alex thought about it. I'd still approach you, but I'd be honest about what I was feeling instead of treating it like a casual game. I'd ask questions about your culture instead of making assumptions. And I'd admit that talking to you affected me more than I expected. How did it affect you? Alex turned to face her fully. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you for 3 weeks, not just because you're beautiful, but because of the way you listened, the way you challenged my assumptions, the intelligence in your eyes. I came here hoping to see you again, but also scared that I had ruined any chance of that by being careless with something important. Luna was quiet for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was softer. In lupine culture, we have a concept called heart recognition. It is the moment when one soul recognizes its complement in another being. It can happen instantly or grow over time, and it does not depend on species or physical form. What does it feel like? Alex asked. Like coming home to a place you have never been. Like finding a piece of yourself you did not know was missing. Luna looked at him directly. It is what I felt when you smiled at me in that cantina. Alex felt his breath catch. Luna. Before he could say more, alarms began sounding throughout the compound. Luna immediately shifted into military mode, her communicator crackling with urgent reports. Dominion attack on Mining Station 7, came the voice. Multiple ships requesting immediate assistance. Luna was already moving toward the compound. All units to battle stations. This is not a drill. Alex followed her inside where chaos was erupting. Lupine warriors ran to their positions while commanders shouted orders. Captain Maya and Dr. Kane appeared from their quarters, drawn by the noise. What's happening? Maya asked. The Dominion is attacking one of our mining operations, Luna explained while putting on her armor. My unit is being deployed for immediate response. Can we help? Alex asked. Luna paused in her preparations. You have no obligation to risk your life for our people. Maybe not, Alex said, but you do, and that makes it my fight too. Zara appeared beside them. I will arrange for human technical support. Mr. Carter, your system's expertise could be valuable. Within an hour, Alex found himself aboard a lupine military transport heading toward the attack site. He had basic armor and equipment, though he felt out of place among the veteran lupine warriors. Luna sat across from him, now fully in command mode. Stay close to me during the engagement, she ordered. Do not attempt to be heroic. Follow orders exactly. The mining station was under heavy attack when they arrived. Dominion ships were large and aggressive, designed like flying fortresses with heavy armor and powerful weapons. The lupine defenders were skilled but outnumbered. Alex worked frantically to restore power to damaged defensive systems while lupine warriors fought off boarding parties. He could hear the sounds of battle throughout the station, but focused on his technical work. When a Dominion soldier appeared in the corridor behind 2 lupine fighters, Alex grabbed a fallen weapon and shot without thinking. The lupines turned in surprise as the enemy soldier fell. They nodded their approval before moving on to the next threat. Later, when the station was secure and the Dominion forces had retreated, Luna found Alex in the damaged control room. He was covered in dust and exhaustion, but the defensive systems were running again. You fought well for someone with no military obligation, she said. I had people worth fighting for, Alex replied, looking at her directly. Luna stepped closer. Alex, what we discussed on the balcony tonight. I need you to understand that for my people, such feelings are not casual. If you are not prepared for that depth of connection. I'm learning, Alex interrupted. I may not understand everything about lupine culture yet, but I understand that what I feel for you is real. I want to learn the rest. Luna reached out and touched his face gently with her clawed hand. Then we will learn together. Outside the mining station, Zara watched the human and lupine ships working side by side to repair the damage. She smiled. To herself, recognizing the signs of a bond that could change the future of both species. Some connections were meant to be, regardless of the barriers between them. The Dominion's full invasion began 3 days later. Alex woke to the sound of emergency alarms and explosions in the distance. Through his window in the Starfang compound, he could see enemy ships descending through Fenris Prime's atmosphere, like deadly metal rain. Captain Maya was already coordinating with Zara and the lupine commanders when Alex reached the command center. The tactical displays showed Dominion forces attacking multiple targets across lupine space. They're hitting our mining worlds, communication arrays, and military bases simultaneously, Luna's father, Robert, reported grimly. This is a coordinated assault designed to cripple our entire civilization. How long can you hold out? Maya asked. Not long without support. The Dominion has been planning this for months. Their ships outnumber ours 3-1. Zara stepped forward. The Elf fleet is moving to assist, but they are 2 days away. We need to disable the Dominion communication network to disrupt their coordination. Their main relay station is on Karen the 4, Luna said, pointing to the star map. It's heavily defended, but if we could take it out, their fleet would lose coordination. Alex studied the tactical data. I could modify your ship systems to break through their communication arrays, but someone would have to get close enough to upload the virus. A suicide mission, Robert observed. Not necessarily, Alex continued. If we use a small ship with stealth modifications, we might be able to get in and out before they respond. Luna turned to him sharply. Absolutely not. You have no experience with military operations of this kind. But I have experience with their technology, Alex argued. I studied Dominion systems during my time in Earth's military. I'm the only one here who knows how to make this work. The argument that followed was intense. Luna refused to allow Alex to risk his life, while Alex insisted that his technical knowledge was essential to the mission's success. Finally, Zara intervened. What if Captain Starfang leads the mission with Mr. Carter providing technical support? This would give them the best chance of success while ensuring both skill sets are present. Robert looked at his daughter. Luna, this mission is extremely dangerous. All missions are dangerous now, Father, but this one could save our people. The mission launched that night using a modified lupine stealth ship. Alex and Luna were accompanied by 2 other lupine warriors, Kira among them. The journey to Karen the 4 would take 18 hours through dangerous space. During the flight, Alex worked on the virus program while Luna monitored enemy communications. They had to stay close together in the small ship, and Alex became aware of subtle changes in Luna's behavior. Her movements were more fluid, her senses seemed sharper, and occasionally he caught her watching him with an intensity that made his heart race. Are you feeling all right? He asked during a quiet moment. Luna hesitated. Lupines experience something called battle bond during times of extreme stress. Our emotions and instincts become heightened. It affects how we relate to those we care about. Is that dangerous? It can be. We become more protective, more aggressive, more likely to take risks for those we have bonded with. Kira, who had been listening from her pilot station, added, It also makes the mate bond stronger. Luna has been fighting her connection to you, but the stress of this mission is making it harder to resist. Kira, Luna warned. He should know what to expect, Kira replied. If Luna goes into full battle bond, only someone she trusts completely will be able to bring her back. Alex looked between the sisters. Back from what? Lupines can enter a berserker state during combat. Luna explained reluctantly. We become focused only on destroying threats to those we protect. It makes us incredibly effective fighters, but we can lose awareness of everything else, including distinguishing between enemies and allies, Alex asked. Sometimes. That's why lupines usually fight in bonded pairs. One fights, while the other maintains connection and control. Alex began to understand why Luna had been so resistant to their growing relationship. In lupine culture, bonding meant taking responsibility for another person's life and sanity. They reached Karen IV without being detected. The Dominion Relay Station was a massive structure on the planet's dark side, surrounded by defensive ships and automated weapon systems. Alex's modifications to their stealth technology allowed them to slip through the outer defenses, but getting inside the station would require Luna's combat skills. The infiltration went smoothly at first. Alex accessed the main computer systems while Luna and her team secured the area. But as he uploaded the virus, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Dominion security forces are responding, Kira reported. Multiple squads converging. On our position. The fighting was intense as they tried to reach their ship. Alex had never seen Luna in full combat before, and her speed and ferocity were terrifying. She moved like liquid death, her claws and weapons cutting through enemy soldiers with surgical precision. But when one of the lupine warriors was badly wounded, something changed in Luna. Her movements became even more violent, her attacks more brutal. Alex realized she was losing herself to the berserker state Kira had warned him about. "Luna!" he called out, but she didn't respond. Her golden eyes had become wild, focused only on destroying any threat to her pack. A Dominion soldier appeared behind Alex, weapon raised. Luna saw the threat and launched herself at the enemy with a roar that echoed through the corridor. But her attack was so savage that Alex realized she might not stop. "Luna, it's over," he said, approaching her carefully. "The threat is gone." She turned toward him, and for a moment, Alex saw no recognition in her eyes. Her claws were extended, her body coiled to attack. Kira started to move forward, but Alex held up a hand to stop her. "Luna, it's me, Alex. You're safe. We're all safe." He kept his voice calm and steady, the way he might speak to a frightened animal. Slowly, he reached out his hand toward her. "Come back to me, Luna. I need you to come back." Something in his voice or scent seemed to reach her. The wildness in her eyes began to fade, replaced by confusion and then recognition. She looked down, at her bloody claws and then at Alex. "I could have hurt you," she whispered. "But you didn't. You protected me." Luna stepped into his arms, and he held her as she trembled with reaction. Around them, the station's emergency systems wailed, but for that moment they were alone in their own world. "The virus is uploaded," Alex reported to Kira. "We need to leave before reinforcements arrive." The escape was harrowing, but they made it back to their ship and jumped to hyperspace. Behind them, the Dominion communication network began failing, as Alex's virus spread through their systems. During the return journey, Luna was quiet and withdrawn. When Alex finally cornered her in the ship's small cargo bay, she was staring out at the stars. "You're afraid of what happened back there," he said. "I lost control. I could have killed you or Kira or anyone who got too close. That's why lupines are careful about who we bond with. The connection makes us stronger, but also more dangerous." Alex moved to stand beside her. "You didn't hurt me. Even in that state, some part of you knew who I was. This time. But what about next time? What if someday I can't find my way back?" Alex took her hands in his, careful of her claws. "Then I'll keep calling until you do. That's what bonded pairs do, right? They take care of each other." Luna looked at him with surprise. "You're saying you want to be my bonded mate?" "I'm saying I want to be whatever you need me to be. I love you, Luna. Not just the beautiful warrior, but all of you, including the dangerous parts." Luna's eyes filled with tears. "Alex, you don't understand what you're asking for. A lupine mate bond is for life. It changes everything." "Good," Alex said, pulling her closer. "I was getting tired of my old life anyway." When they kissed, Alex felt something shift inside him, like a door opening to a room he had never known existed. Whatever happened next, he knew there was no going back to who he had been before. In the pilot's seat, Kira smiled as she monitored their approach to Fenris Prime. Her sister had found her mate at last, and despite the challenges ahead, she could feel that this bond would make them both stronger. The virus Alex had created worked better than anyone expected. Within hours of their return to Fenris Prime, reports came in from across Dominion space. Their communication network was collapsing, leaving their scattered fleets unable to coordinate. Attacks. The invasion began falling apart as confused commanders lost contact with their superiors. The lupine clans rallied for a counterattack, supported by arriving elf ships and a small human fleet that had joined the alliance. Captain Maya commanded Aurora's Dawn in the space battle, while Alex and Luna worked together on the ground, coordinating defensive systems across multiple worlds. Their partnership proved devastatingly effective. Alex's technical innovations combined with Luna's tactical knowledge created strategies the Dominion had never encountered. They developed new ways to use human adaptability and lupine instincts together, creating something stronger than either species could achieve alone. The final battle took place in orbit around the Dominion's forward base. Alex watched from the command center as ships from 3 different species fought side by side. Human vessels used unpredictable tactics, elf ships moved with impossible grace, and lupine fighters attacked with coordinated pack-hunting techniques. When the Dominion forces finally retreated, the Alliance had won its first major victory. But Alex quickly discovered that winning the war was easier than dealing with the political complications that followed. The problem started when reports of his relationship with Luna spread beyond Fenris Prime. Some humans viewed Alex as compromised by alien influence, questioning whether he could represent human interests. Meanwhile, traditionalist lupines accused Luna of abandoning her cultural heritage for an outsider. "They're calling you a traitor," Kira reported after monitoring communications from both human and lupine colonies. "Some people think cross-species relationships weaken both cultures." Alex and Luna sat together in the compound's garden, watching the red sunset of Fenris Prime. They had been dealing with criticism for weeks, and it was wearing on both of them. "Maybe they're right," Luna said quietly. "Maybe I am abandoning my traditions." "Are you?" Alex asked. Luna considered the question. "I still honor my clan, my people, and our values, but I also love you. If that makes me a traitor, then I am a traitor who has found happiness." Zara found them there that evening. The elf diplomat had been working on a solution to their problem, and her ancient wisdom had led her to an interesting proposal. "I have been studying historical records of interspecies relationships," Zara announced. "What you two have experienced is rare but not unprecedented. Several species have developed concepts for individuals who form genuine cross-species bonds." "What kind of concepts?" Alex asked. In the early days of galactic civilization, before species became isolated in their own territories, there were people called resonance ambassadors. They were individuals who formed deep connections across species lines and used those connections to help different cultures understand each other. Luna sat up with interest. Like diplomatic positions. More than that. They were recognized as bridges between worlds, people who could think and feel from multiple cultural perspectives. Their relationships were seen as strengths rather than weaknesses. Zara pulled out her datapad and showed them historical records. The last resonance ambassadors existed over 200 years ago, but given the current political situation, I believe it's time to revive the position. "What would that mean for us?" Alex asked. "It would mean recognition that your bond serves a larger purpose. Instead of being seen as individuals compromised by alien influence, you would be official representatives of interspecies cooperation." Captain Maya arrived during their conversation, having been called to the meeting by Zara. "The Human Federation is interested in this proposal," she announced. "Command has been impressed by your effectiveness working together. They're willing to offer Alex a commission in a new interspecies cooperation division." Luna looked at Alex. "What do you think?" Alex took her hand. "I think it means we get to turn what started as casual flirtation into something that might change. The galaxy." The formal announcement was made 2 weeks later. Alex and Luna became the first officially recognized resonance ambassadors in over 2 centuries. Their mission would be to travel between worlds, helping other species understand each other and mediating conflicts that arose from cultural misunderstandings. Dr. Lisa Kane's research on cross-species bonding became groundbreaking work that opened new fields of study. She documented how genuine emotional connections could form between different species and how those connections could enhance, rather than compromise, cultural identity. The bonding ceremony took place in the Great Hall of the Starfang compound. Both human and lupine traditions were honored, with Captain Maya standing as Alex's chosen family and Kira serving as Luna's bond sister. Zara officiated, using ancient words that recognized the union of souls across the barriers of species. Robert Starfang gave a speech about how his daughter had brought honor to their clan by showing that love could be a bridge between worlds, rather than a betrayal of heritage. Representatives from the Human Federation expressed their pride in Alex's pioneering work in interspecies relations. But the most meaningful moment came when Alex and Luna exchanged their personal vows. They spoke not just of love, but of their commitment to understanding each other's cultures and using their bond to help others do the same. "You taught me that connection isn't about changing who you are," Alex said. "It's about becoming more than you thought possible. And you taught me that taking risks with your heart can lead to discoveries greater than any treasure," Luna replied. After the ceremony, they were assigned to the exploration vessel Harmony's Edge, a ship designed specifically for interspecies cooperation. The crew included humans, lupines, elves, and several other species, all working together under the command of Captain Kate Sullivan. Alex and Luna's first mission took them to a border world where two species were in conflict over mining rights. Using their combined human and lupine perspectives, they helped the groups understand each other's cultural approaches to resource sharing and negotiated a settlement that satisfied both parties. Their success led to more challenging assignments. They made first contact with previously unknown civilizations, mediated trade disputes between established species, and helped develop new protocols for interspecies cooperation. But perhaps their greatest achievement was simply existing. Other humans and lupines who met them saw that cross-species relationships could work. Young people from various worlds began forming their own connections across species lines, creating a new generation that thought of diversity as strength, rather than threat. 1 year after their bonding ceremony, Alex and Luna stood on the observation deck of Harmony's Edge, watching a new star system appear ahead of them. They were approaching a world where two species had been at war for generations, and their mission was to help them find peace. "Do you ever regret it?" Luna asked. "Giving up your simple life as a trader for all this complexity?" Alex smiled and put his arm around her. "I regret being casual about something that deserved to be taken seriously, but I don't regret falling in love with a lupine warrior who changed my understanding of what's possible." Luna leaned against him, and Alex marveled at how natural it felt to hold someone whose heart beat with a different rhythm than his own. What had started as playful flirtation in a space station cantina had become the foundation for a new kind of future. "What do you think we'll find on this world?" Luna asked. "People who need to understand that differences don't have to mean division," Alex replied. "And maybe we'll help them discover that the best connections come from embracing what makes each other unique." As their ship approached the troubled world ahead, Alex and Luna prepared for another mission. They were no longer just a human and a lupine who had fallen in love. They were living proof that the galaxy's greatest strength lay not in the power of individual species, but in the bonds that could form between them. Behind them, the stars of known space held worlds where their example was inspiring others to build bridges across the ancient barriers of species and culture. Ahead lay new challenges and new opportunities to show that love could indeed change everything, one connection at a time.